Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We liked our movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained as pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the feedback bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey, hey.
I'm really sorry. I thought you guys were asleep. I'm out of here. I'll get out of here right away. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Miyagi. What's going on?
Nothing. Just monks having a good time.
I thought that they were supposed to be spiritual leaders.
Never trust spiritual leader who cannot dance.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Santa's podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about movies that shaped their childhood. I'm Sweetie.
And I'm Sweetie. Got really quiet there. Just like, let's take it lower.
I was trying to do a funny accent to hide that I have a fucking cold again. I don't know what is going on here. People, this is the longest sickness of my life. I'm stuffy as fuck, and it sucks. But I'm powering through it. Because it's a special day.
It's a special
day, guys.
It's the annual We Don't Care About the Super Bowl.
Anti-Super Bowl party. What?
No, it's a We Don't Care About the Super Bowl party.
Also known as the anti-Super Bowl party.
I thought you said the Super Bowl party.
No.
No, whatever.
Okay.
Anyway,
So, last year, if you remember, we watched Little Giants and didn't watch the Super Bowl. Today, we watched The Next Karate Kid and did not watch the Super Bowl. So
which is like a
winning.
sports movie. So fitting, it fits.
Yeah. We wanted to keep the theme kind of going. But, just not like, I think football is great. And like, go Pats. Like, you guys are awesome. I'm just not into watching it anymore.
Yeah, who cares? Anyway, so I just had a weird craving to watch The Next Karate Kid. I don't know where it came from. I was just sitting on the couch one day, and I was like, I miss Julie. I miss the Hawk.
Missing Julie and Angel
I
and Miyagi.
need to check in with them, make sure everybody's okay. I'm sure it's still flying around that quarry, that whatever that was. It's just needed to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did because they're fine. They're still okay.
Fun fact, guys. We did the Ridge Karate Kid. What was that last year? We were on the Cape. I forget why though.
It wasn't last year. It was the year before.
2 years ago. Yeah.
That's scary. It was like around Thanksgiving or something.
Awesome. And so fun to do that one. And then we skipped over 2 movies in the series because, Karate Kid 2 is great. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's not as good as the original. They go to Japan. It's kind of cool. The third one is basically the first one all over again with like Cobra Kai bullshit. But the girl is not Elizabeth Shue. It's Robin Lively, which is pretty cool in itself. But it starts losing steam because it's like the same old shit,
Does she play the same character?
No, it's like a new girlfriend.
Okay, all right. Wonder what happened to Allie.
Yeah, she moved fucking on. She went to college, like cross country, and was like litigatous. But they decided to reboot the franchise in 1994 and had a female karate kid.
Amazing.
Yeah, so awesome. Played by a very young 20-year-old Hilary Swank. Prior to, this was like, I looked at it. It was 5 years before she did Boys Don't Cry, which was her Oscar-winning kind of, and her real standout. But you can totally tell she's going to be an amazing actress because despite like the material being like so-so in this movie, it's a pretty good movie. But like, whatever with it. It's like, for kids.
Okay.
The acting is there. Like, don't you see that in her? She's excellent.
Sometimes, yeah. It's just, she gets a little like too a little over dramatic maybe in the beginning stuff, but I mean that's the character, but yeah, I mean she's great, and this movie just really spoke to me as a young girl. I love the Karate Kid, but it's just if you're a girl, you're just the girlfriend and you're just the person that like steals the belt into the karate tournament, and you don't have much of a role, right? And that's the character that you look up to. But then when I saw this, I was like, oh man, not only can girls fight, but they can fight against guys that are these like bigs, like the guys that Daniel-san was fighting against. Like I love that they didn't make the opponent like another girl.
Yeah, but like so I have some problems with this movie in the sense that like I think it has about as little karate as they could possibly put into it. There's not really a ton of karate in this. It's really not about that. It's about her having all these sort of like issues and these anger issues and then like channeling that anger into karate.
Sure.
But I don't think they do a great job of like any of the training stuff. There's a very small training scene. And then the end fight, it seems lame to me.
Oh, I love the end fight.
I think it should have been.
I think she kicks butt.
Kind of. She does like 3 moves, and like
I think you're forgetting that Daniel-san basically walks into that tournament after having just waxed the car. Like that's all he learns. Remember?
No,
there's barely any in that.
There's a bunch of training on the training montages, and like for the original Karate Kid, there's so many instances where he's like literally getting the shit kicked out of him because he's essentially being bullied, right?
Right.
So she is like sort of being bullied, but more in like
being assaulted.
Yeah, assaulted. So I wish the fight scene was not like, oh, let me like finish the fight from my boyfriend who was like basically trying to protect my honor, instead of having something where she was like basically being assaulted and fought back. That's what I feel like the fight scene would have been, because this just seemed what is that called? Just put in there to like show that she could do it after all this training, which I guess is like the point of it. I don't know. I don't know. I think they really had to do it delicately, having a female...
Negative Nancy.
No, having a female lead... Listen to me. Having a female lead, like, they had to do it delicately because it's hard. Like, you just can't have guys beating the shit out of a girl.
Right.
Like,
that's likely why they didn't have a scene where they were assaulting her.
But
she had to stand up for herself.
Right. But then... I don't know, but like, why not? Or why is it? Why isn't she?
You
Why
said it's a kids movie. You said it's a kids movie. Why aren't there
mean girls and she like fights another girl if they were worried about
then
like
it'd be dumb. Then it's like, oh, only girls can fight other girls. That's why I like this.
Listen, I like this movie a lot. I think it is funny. I think the acting is good. I think Mr. Miyagi is the fucking cutest thing in the entire world, and I miss him every day of my life.
Every day.
But those are just some small gripes I have. Small, teeny weeny, tiny monk size, little monk with the glasses size.
He's not even the tiniest one. He's fat. Hey, very uncalled for.
Ooh, the gloves are coming up.
I'll see you at the docks. Okay,
I'm gonna do a roundhouse kick.
Yeah, meet me at the docks. Meet me at the docks. Anyways, yeah. So Hilary Swank. You know, our boy, Norikyo, Pat Morita.
Noriyuki, quote unquote, Pat Morita.
And some other people. Michael Ironside is the bad guy. And
Old Ironsides.
Yeah, it's just... I loved it. I watched this all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it was another one that was always on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe on the Disney Channel or something.
But it's a good movie. It's very entertaining. And totally forgot, takes place in Boston. Yep. What? Mm-hmm. And legitimately filmed it in Boston. Yes. We can back up all the scenes. They were legit. All the skylines.
That is nice.
All the public transportation they showed. Yeah, it's for real. Boston Bowl. That's a real place, guys. It's open 24 hours.
People get stabbed there.
Gang members go there, but it's open 24 hours.
Because you need a bowling alley that's open 24 hours.
I've always wanted to go, but it's always been way too late at night, and I was like, I don't want to get stabbed.
Did we just make that up, or did people get stabbed there? Why do I?
People get stabbed there.
That's what
it's like a gang hangout.
That's weird.
Meet at the Boston Bowl.
Wow, interesting. Anyways, yeah. So good flick. I say we just get into it. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of things to say about this synopsis, so I'm gonna enjoy myself. And
thanks for letting me know.
Let's do it.
It's time for the sweetie synopsis. Yeah,
sweeties.
Wax on, wax off.
Probably could have picked up, but
I couldn't think of any. What should I have done?
Julie-san. Sorry I killed the cockroach. I don't know.
Fighting is not good, but if must fight, must win. How about that?
Okay, great. Julie Pierce is I'll say 17-year-old hothead teenager with she's got a lot of angst. She's got so much angst, it's like boiling out of her skin. Here's why she's angsty. Number one, her parents died. I think recently.
Yeah, they don't say.
In a car accident. Sad.
Super sad.
Pulled away from this world. She's angry about it. Angsty number two, she has to live with her grandmother, which isn't such a bad deal, except, I mean, I don't know. I don't know her grandmother well enough to make judgments.
Well, are we also thinking that when her parents died, she had to move to like a different city or place?
I think that is also the case. Yeah. So she's probably
a new kid in town.
Angry about that, but she gets to live in this giant house. So, I mean, that's nice. She's allowed to wear belly shirts to school. I mean, your life ain't so bad, Julie. But, so anyways, so here's the sitch. So, beginning scene. There's a ceremony to be like, hey, the president wants to thank you for, even though we locked you up in these internment camps, that you still fought for us like you were really part of our country. We really appreciate that. The president's not actually here to thank you, but whatever. It was weird. So anyway, so we find out that Julie's grandfather and Mr. Miyagi fought together in World War II, and her grandfather saved his life or something, and he taught him karate, and so that's how they know each other. And then he's talking to Julie's grandmother, and she's like, hey, come over for dinner at my sweet house. And he's like, okay, because he's from California, you know, he's not like
he's just not visiting.
Yeah,
he's just in town for the week,
hanging out. So he's like touching base with his pals. Yeah. So he goes to dinner. And the grandmother's like, I'm sorry, my granddaughter's not here. And then she storms in, and she's like, this is Mr. Miyagi. And she's like, hi. And then goes to the fridge and like is getting raw meat out of the fridge. And her grandmother's like, I want you to meet this man. And she's like, no, I'm leaving. She's like, where are you going? And she's like, what is that food for? And she's like, it's for my friend. She's like, why you ask me so many questions like I'm in a prison? And I'm like, Julie, you're taking raw meat and putting it in your backpack.
You're also 16.
I would wonder that too. Like, it's weird. Anyways, so she goes off. She goes to the middle of the night to the school to go on the roof. You know why?
I'm going to guess this is like way out in left field. There's a hawk up there. Oh my God.
How did you know?
I've seen this movie.
So her best friend is a hawk named Angel, who she found. She was injured. She got shot.
No, she found her on the lawn with a broken. She found her on the lawn with a broken wing.
Okay, she found her near school with a broken wing. Somehow is like, oh, I know a place to keep her on the roof where there's these.
The janitor used to keep pigeons up there. Are you listening?
Where's he? Probably a pedophile or something. He got locked up. He can't take care of his pigeons anymore. So she keeps it up there and goes to feed it. For some reason, she has to go in the middle of the night. We're not sure. But she breaks into the school every other night or whatever to feed the hawk. So she does that. The police come because there's a sensor security system, whatever. They try to chase her. She's too fast for them because, they're overweight, fat cops. They can't do it. So she escapes that time. Good for her.
Yeah.
School. It's time for school. It's a bad place for her.
Yeah. And turns out Julie hasn't been going to class, for 3 weeks.
Forever.
She just doesn't go.
She just doesn't go. Hides out in this weird greenhouse or something.
With like plants. It's like a sunroom, like a solarium of the school. Almost like pulls a bastion and just like goes up, and just like reads a book. In her case, like listens to probably like the Cranberries on like her Discman.
R.I.P. Dolores.
And like who comes about her but okay, so the school is run like I don't even know what this guy's deal is. Okay, is he a security guard? Is he the coach of the football team? Is he the coach of like this rapist club? Who knows? So there's this like weird club called the Alpha Elite, and it's some like training. I think it's connected to the football team. I don't know. That was like alluded to.
No, I think it's like an ROTC kind of thing, maybe
ROTC, if you will. That's what you call that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, they walk around with like mom jeans and belts and like black t-shirts tucked in. Weird outfit. So they basically like patrol the school, I guess, but then also do these like after school group exercises. I don't know, sweetie, explain it to me. What do you think?
It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. I have a question about
How bizarre.
Do Ned and his cronies have to go to class? Are they actually 25? Why is that like the penis pouch so long on those pants? Is it just because they're up so high? I don't get how that
here's
works.
My problem. There are 30-year-olds running all over this high school, and I'm very upset about it. I mean, we've talked a lot about how these movies with high school, they cast older actors all the time. That's like what you do. Hilary Swank was 20. Okay. I feel like that's okay.
Sure.
Maybe she's supposed to be 18, 17, 18, so it's a couple years. That Ned guy, 45, could be 45, could be 35. He is not 18 on this planet.
So here's the problem with Ned. Ned is a rapist.
Yeah. Ned's the head of the rape club, by the way. I don't think we said that.
He's just so gross. And he
loves Julie.
He's got the classic 90s mob, the male bob. He's got one of those necklaces.
It's like gelled and sick.
Yeah, and he's got one of those necklaces that's like a black, what is that material
bead?
called? No, it's just like that. Where it's like a leather
black string, black leather stringy thing.
String of like, and then a silver pennant on the bottom.
Yeah. Okay,
so
men
weird.
who wear necklaces, ooh, that's your first sign right there.
Don't trust them. But I can't get over those jeans. So they just strut around the school doing things, and he catches Julie and then is angry that she won't go on a date with him. So he tries to.
So the song that they strut to again is I'm moving on now. I'm moving on now.
Which is like a gay anthem.
Right? Nothing can stop us. Remember that
Also
like
the
90s
song-
groove jam?
Yes. Also the song that plays in the First Wives Club when they go to the lesbian club.
Yes.
So, okay. So he finds Julie in the solarium or whatever, and he assaults her basically and is like really roughhousing her and is just like always grabbing her.
Right.
And it's so bizarre.
Like BT dubs, Ned. Not a way to get a date with somebody is
No.
to like he's being rapey, but he's being physically very violent.
It's I don't get it.
In what world is a woman gonna be like, oh yeah? I mean, I guess out of fear, but what is that? I mean, I think he's a sociopath. Honestly, sociopath maybe.
Yeah. So guy comes. Wait, what's the main bad guy? The Mike Ironside character's name? Coach. Just kidding.
Dugan?
No, that's Ned, right? Ned Dugan? I thought that was Ned.
No, it's not like Mr. Dugan, but something like that. Yeah, Colonel Dugan.
Oh, okay. I see. So Colonel Dugan comes in and is like, "What's going on here?" And so he also unclear of his school role, unsure how he got a job at that school. What bullshit he pulls is like, yes, like no other teacher watches those after school programs where he just kicks their ass all the time. It's so weird. So he's like, what's going on here? And Ned's like, I caught this student smoking. And he pulls out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket and she has to go to the principal's office. So strike one. So she is like, whatever. Ned sucks. He's an asshole. Meets Eric because he's making photocopies or something. He's also in the little weird elite Alpha Elite Club. And Dugan's like, Eric, escort this girl back to class. And he's like, okay. But Eric's cool. He seems nice. And he talks to her, but she's not having it. Julie's angry as usual.
She's just angry at the world.
So Eric's kind of now infatuated by her. So he follows her one day and notices that she goes up on the roof. And he follows her. And what does he find? The hawk.
The hawk
But
angel.
she's angry because she thinks he's going to tell on her and the hawk will be in danger. So she's obsessed with this hawk. She's like, what are you going to do about the hawk? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about that hawk? And he's like,
yeah, that got too much after a
he
while.
could have said nothing. Like, he could have just cut it. I don't know.
But he was using it as a ploy so she would talk to him more. So he wasn't like letting up. But we left out the part where so Julie's grandmother is like, hey, skipping town for a month. Gonna do a home switcheroo with Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi lives in California. Mr. Miyagi's gonna stay here. Bye-bye. They drop Granny off at the airport. So it's just Mr. Miyagi and Julie at this point.
I would be
and she's
pissed.
being sassafras to him.
Yeah. Well,
He's like, I'm going to pick you up after school. You know, she's not there.
I would be so uncomfortable if, like, my grandma was like, okay, this guy you've never met before is going to stay with you. Like, what?
As sweet as he is, that's pretty uncool.
Yeah. But anyway, so she starts developing this, like, kind of weird relationship with Eric, where she's not nice to him yet, but, like, isn't terrible.
Yeah.
So she's like,
the ice is thawing.
she's warming up. Yeah, it's getting there. So she goes to feed the hawk again one night. And unfortunately, Ned and his cronies have parked themselves at the school because the police were like, yo, we got a girl up on the roof. We got to catch her. So they park these guys there to catch her. And they chase her, and it's a scary scene, and Ned is abusive once again. And it's all kinds of bad.
Tell me, like, what you feel like the outcome of that was supposed to be. Like, what did they think was going to happen?
Well, they were going to catch her and then arrest her. She's going to be arrested or whatever.
So they were just doing that part.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, yeah, I didn't know, like, what their end goal was there. Okay.
So she, like, does the fire alarm and escapes, and for some reason thinks that she's the one that's not in trouble. So she runs to the police cars and the fire trucks as they're pulling up and is like, officer, thank God you're here.
Well, she was basically getting, like, ganged up on, and it seemed like another assault situation, though.
Right. But they were supposed to be there, so it was like it didn't work out. So she gets arrested, and Mr. Miyagi picks her up, and unfortunately she gets suspended from school for 2 weeks, which is a long time.
But it was basically like what was going on anyway, because girl has not done work for 3 weeks.
Right. She got to get together. So Mr. Miyagi's like, let's take a trip. So they go up to this monastery in some place, maybe New Hampshire, we think. I don't know. And she's like, Eric, feed the hawk. And he's like, okay. Even though I think the funniest part is he's like, why'd you get suspended? And she's no. First she goes, Eric, I gotta go away for a while. Will you feed Angel? And he's like, sure. What'd you get suspended for? And it's like, well, she got suspended for feeding Angel. Which, like, I mean, maybe he won't feed her in the middle of the night like a dummy, but it's just like, be careful, Eric.
And then, okay, so then prior to this trip, her and Mr. Miyagi are starting to see a little bit more eye to eye. So it comes out that, well, there's this big moment where, like, she gets into a fight with him because she thinks he's going to be like her grandmother again and just, like, tell her what she does wrong, runs out into the middle of the road and almost gets hit by a pizza delivery truck. Mm-hmm. You know, happens all the time.
Yep, all the time in Boston, you know?
Yeah.
We like our pizza.
And so she jumps onto the hood in this, like, tiger crouch pose or, like, something. And he sees that immediately and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This bitch knows karate? Hold up. So he asked her about it, and she's like, oh, yeah, like, no big deal. My dead dad, taught me that, you know, when I was little, but I thought it was a game. So basically, she already knows some legit karate moves. And an idea comes to Mr. Miyagi. He doesn't say this, but you can just see it happen. Like, I'm going to teach this girl karate, and I'm going to make her, like, lose this anger and transfer that anger and all that energy into this art of fighting, or whatever you want to call karate.
Right.
So that kind of gets established.
Right. So when they go to the monastery, it's to, like, further that training. So they go there, and it's run by a bunch of cute-ass monks. You got a couple of monk characters. You've got your tall, smiley monk. You've got your fat monk with glasses. Very sweet. You've got your other monk who doesn't have any descriptive characteristics, so I'll just call him other monk. And then the small old monk who's very sweet. He's like the head monk, whatever that's called.
Abbot.
The abbot.
I thought he called him Albert. Because Abbot. I'm like, wow, that's a weird name for a Japanese or Tibetan monk.
Hey, Abbot.
Albert.
So she stays there, and she's slowly getting into, like, the monk lifestyle. They have to stay in these, like, weird stone towers on the floor. It's like, I wouldn't be into that, but whatever. One night at dinner, she's eating her rice and her radish, and she's like, sees this cockroach on the table and freaks out and tries to kill it with a shoe. And the tall, smiley monk is like, oh, no, you don't, and takes it. And then all the monks get up and leave. And they're pissed at her because she tried to kill a living thing in this monastery. No, that's not okay. Mr. Miyagi's like, that's not okay.
Life.
Right. So they kind of don't talk to her for a while. They throw some monk shade until she finds a praying mantis in the field and brings it to the sweet old monk. Mm-hmm. And he's like, good, you did a good job. And now they're friends again.
Yep.
So she She fixed that.
Yeah. And then by the by, there's some training montages. There's one specific challenge where she needs to do some sort of front kick and land on a rock. Seems really dangerous for a trainee, just saying. Could have slipped and broken her head on the rock. Seemed a little dangerous, but that's her like goal of the trip, to be able to like do this crazy move, which seemed impossible.
It's her crane. Yeah. So, yeah. But then, by the end of this, she does it. And then they go back to Boston. And she's like a changed person. And she's reciting Mr. Miyagi's cryptic, weird things back to her principal. And he's like, okay, interesting.
Totally ready to like go into school, take it by the horns. And she's going to be, Mr. Miyagi says this thing, like, ambition is nothing without knowledge, because she like, Julie is this like kind of spirit where she like doesn't think about the future. I think she's a little bit traumatized about like what happened to her parents and not wanting to have any like grand plans because of like what happened to them maybe. So she's kind of like living in the moment, but she also like just kind of doesn't think school is important, even though like what the fuck are you going to do like without a degree or school or anything? I mean, I guess it works for some people.
Rescue hawks all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, so she's like, so she's all about school. She makes plans to go to the senior prom, which was something she probably never would have done before that.
Eric.
Right?
And she embraces Eric as a sweetie, as she should, because he's super sweet. They go up to feed the hawk together, and then notice that, the hawk's not there. But you know who's there? Fucking Ned. And he's like, what happened to your hawk, Julie? Take the hawk away? They took the hawk away? What happened to your hawk? And he's like,
what happened to your little birdie, Julie?
Such a dick. And then, but guys, don't worry, because the hawk is just at an animal shelter. She's at an animal shelter. There's no big deal. They get the hawk. Okay. Apparently,
here's my question about that. So, like, how did that work? So, like, someone's like, "Hey, found this hawk on the roof. Animal control. Like, here you go." Anyone can just walk in and be like, "Hey, so that's my hawk. Can I take it?" It just seemed like a little bit strange.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that. I don't think that's allowed. But they take the hawk and go. And Mr. Miyagi's like, "I think it's time to let Angel go. You have real friends now, so I don't think you need this hawk." And he does his like. What's that called? Is that like Reiki or something? No.
Kind of.
Where he like heals the hawk with the clap thing, and then
the clap.
And they set Angel, and she's free, and it's this great symbolic moment. And then let's cut to the prom. So she goes to the prom. Mr. Miyagi buys her a very nice dress. He teaches her how to dance. Adorable. It's a very sweet scene. We'll talk about it. She goes to the prom with Eric. They do one little dance, and then they start walking off the floor. And then a girl's like, "Oh my God, look!" And who should drop in but Ned and his cronies bungee jumping off the gymnasium?
Because they couldn't find dates. That was why?
I have no idea. I have searched the internet far and wide for a reason. I literally Googled after this movie ended, why did Ned bungee jump at the prom?
I just can't imagine.
And no one told me
being the screenplay
answer.
writer and be like, okay, like how can we get like Ned and his cronies like into the dance and causing like a ruckus? Like bungee jump from the ceiling. Yes.
But like if they're supposed to be the like guardians of the school or like the hall monitors, and the teachers are like, yes. Like, why are there no repercussions? Like, why is there no punishment
that
for that?
Colonel Dugan is the one who like orchestrated it. I don't know.
The teachers, there's no other teachers at this school that are like,
they're there. But what are they going to do?
Why did you have your students bungee jump from?
Well, and that one guy breaks his arm, so I feel like that like gets them out of being in trouble because someone got hurt.
Also, I don't think it's physically possible. Like the ceiling was not that high.
No,
it doesn't make any sense.
And those look like kind of like weird, shoddy bungees too. I don't think they were real.
I have no idea what's going on with that scene, but they disrupt the dance. Everyone's upset. Ned sees Julie and Eric go away, and he gets very jealous and goes after them and like tries to fight. And he's like, beep, 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 you know, you're a loser. Blah,
well,
blah,
basically, Eric's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah. And Ned's like, see that? He challenged me.
Oh,
he challenged me.
I get to kill him now. I get to kill him.
Go.
So Julie and Eric drive away. They park outside the house. They have a little smooch, and then Ned comes with a baseball bat and smashes all the windows. Again, what is going through that guy's head? Is he on steroids? I bet he is. Yeah. Did you see his muscles? They're disgusting.
Steroids.
Not to be confused with hemorrhoids, but steroids. He's taking the roids.
I think we're the only one who calls hemorrhoids roids. By the way,
Well, we should change that.
or we call them hemis.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else. And so then Ned like scoots by.
In his stripped out Jeep. He has like this like Jeeps with like these giant tires, like he's like driving in the desert, and he lives in Brookline.
Those like lights that like light up things.
Or with the smiley face caps on it.
Yes, because he's like in the jungle. I don't know. It's so weird. So he's like, I'll see you at the docks. And then like leaves. And Julia runs inside, and Eric speeds off to go meet Ned at the docks to go fight. And then Julie runs inside and changes into her sweats. And she meets Eric at the dock. Turns out it's not just Ned challenging him to a fight. It's the entire squad of goons. And then they decide for good measure to light up Eric's car and blow it up. Because why not?
How did they know he was going to park there? How did they like do that whole thing?
I don't know how they planned this whole thing. I don't know. So, it's one of those circle things where you're like punching them, and then he like falls over to one guy, and then that guy punches him, and then it's terrible. And then Julie pulls up just as they're about to like finish him off, and which saves him, thankfully. Even though does finish him mean? I know in Mortal Kombat it means like kill them, but I don't know if that's.
I think it just means knock him out.
Okay,
like unconscious.
Interesting. So they save Eric, and then they try to leave, and then Ned does this crazy thing where he again reaches out and grabs Julie. I don't understand his thought process, but she freaks out and like does like a protection thing, and he's like, oh, look at this, she's gonna fight me, you want to fight me, Julie? And she's like, let me fight him. And so Mr. Miyagi's like, okay, I guess now's the right time. So Julie fights Ned. It's true 1-on-1 this time. It's not none of this bullshit 10-on-1 thing. She kicks his ass, and she's doing a really good job. And then Ned's like, oh, yeah? Well, here's some gritty sand. I'm going to throw it in your eye, sucker! And throws sand in her eye, and she can't see. But you guys, don't worry, because Mr. Miyagi trained her for this.
Trained for this exact moment.
He always knows. Yeah, how does he know?
He just knows.
Man, so they had done this blindfold training thing in the beginning, and where she had to be in the barn and like detect where these flying sandbags were coming from.
It was very Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, when he like puts on the blaster shield.
You're right.
And is like able to do this.
How could I see with the blaster shield down? Yep. Yeah, it was exactly like that. Mm-hmm. So she knows. So she does this like praying mantis pose, and she takes in her surroundings so she can hear everything, and then Ned goes to kick her, and she pushes his foot away, and then there's like slow motion, pow, kicks him right in the kisser. He's down. He might be crying, and the colonel is very upset and tries to get all the other guys to fight her, and they're like, you're crazy. And then Mr. Miyagi's like, okay, we fight, and then they do their big fight scene. It's very exciting. Mr. Miyagi kicks his butt. And then he's like, now we put your lights out, and then blows in his face. I love that. And then he's out, and then everybody just kind of calmly walks away, and they're like, all right, that's done. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's the
Mr.
flick.
Miyagi, like, we kicked some butt. Like, it's okay, like, you should be happy about it. And he is pretty happy about it. And
then, as much as he says he's not, I know he is.
No,
that dude was an asshole.
Right. I mean, that happens in every movie, so that's like pretty much the theme of the end of every Karate Kid. There's like a really bad adult that Mr. Miyagi like beats the shit out of, and then he blows in their face or honks their nose instead of poking their eyes out. That's what he does. It's pretty great. And I think he does enjoy taking down the bad adults because he's a good adult, and he's trying to show kids like, you don't have to resort to this.
Kids,
yeah,
quote unquote.
They are kids, karate kids.
Yeah. So that's a flick. Good length. I was captivated, even though I'd seen it several times. I don't think there's any like dragging really moments. I think it's paced well. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm like over though the Hawk side plot.
Oh,
I do. Say.
Oh yeah,
do you think that is sort of like extraneous and stupid and like
I'm over
hit over the head symbolism?
Yes.
Like you don't need.
I'm over the symbolism. I'm over her fake tears in that scene. They're like really bad. They're like not. You can tell they're fake. Embarrassing admission though. When I watched this when I was little, that scene used to make me cry, and I would like totally cry because I got emotional about animals, and I felt sad for her that she was like had to let this pet animal friend go.
Yeah.
You know, that would be
Yeah,
sad.
even though it was a wild animal, it was only in captivity for like a week. And it's a fucking bird. Birds don't belong in cages, guys.
Yeah. I mean, what's
It's
she going to do?
just-
Bring it home with
Yeah.
grandma? I don't
No,
think so.
birds don't belong in cages.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing. So, like, you know, she had to, so symbolism being she had to let go a lot of things in that movie. And is she supposed to be Angel?
See, I mean, yes. I think that's the symbolism. Or maybe, okay. Her anger was Angel locked up in that cage.
Yeah.
And then they let it out to fly free and it's mended, her wings mended, the anger's mended. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think that's more what it is.
Or like the cage for her was like this grief that she had and anger over her parents dying. And remember he says the thing about the sometimes birds kept in cages too long or scared of like the outside, the big outside world. So she was really scared of navigating her world without her parents and without that sort of thing. And like this whole experience really told her that she was a very independent person who could do it. And like really there was like something inside of her.
Yes, you
and,
got it.
And she'd still have friends and family, you know, and like Eric, and then this kind of new parental figure she has in the Mr. Miyagi.
Sweetie, you're a next Karate Kid scholar.
I mean, basically. I mean, I love this franchise. I think like there is something so cool about karate and using those things. And it's really like, I mean, Mr. Miyagi's whole way of teaching people, right, is like not necessarily about the moves. Like it is, but it's supposed to. It's also so much about like spiritual teaching and like, you know, like almost life teaching. That's what it like teaches you. That it's not just about the moves. It's like so much greater than that. So that's what like all these movies are really supposed to be, because you have these kids, whether you're Daniel's son moving to a new place and feeling like an outsider, and he needed like karate and that relationship with Mr. Miyagi to feel better about himself in that sense. This girl, you know, Julie, living with the anger and trying to let it go that way. You know, it's just it's about life.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I guess anybody can learn karate. Really, you
Maybe
really
you
don't need to
should.
do a
I'll
lot.
take you down to the dojo.
Excuse me. Why? What?
There's
I don't
like,
have a hawk friend.
near where my I babysit. There's this like dojo. And I always like walk by it when I'm walking to go, and it's like all these little kids in like the little white suits being like, da, da, da. I'm always like walking by the window like a super sketcher, being like, "What's going on in there? It looks really fun."
Sweet. We'll sign you up.
Yeah, I'd do it.
So a couple of favorite scenes I have just off the top of my head. Number one, definitely the monks dancing scene at the monastery, I think is a lot of people's like standout scene from this. So Julie is a big fan of the Cranberries, as most people were in the 90s. So
Elton.
on her list of
I left my Cranberry CD in the quad. Can I go get it?
oh my God, remember during the Clueless episode you were like, get over the Cranberries.
Oh God,
it's sad now.
damn.
I can't believe you said that.
I didn't know she's gonna die.
So on Julie's list of essentials she needed to pack for the monastery, number one is her, you know, her sweats, her jean shorts, spandex, crop tops, etc. Yep. Number two, mini boombox. She needs her tunes. She needs the tunes. So she brings her little mini boombox into this like sacred hall, turns the song on, and practices her like moves. And then the monks quietly come in. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought you were sleeping. She turns off the music. And then the little sweet old monk comes over and like turns it back on and is like, this is a nice song. And they go up there and then they start doing this little like sweet monk dance. And it's so fucking cute. I can't stand it. Like it's too adorable. And then they all do the dance together, Mr. Miyagi and Julie. It's a great moment. So love that scene. Also, I mean, monk related. I think all the best parts in this have to do with the monks. So the second one is when the monks come to Boston, right? So they pull up in their little VW, doot doot, so cute that they have a license. That one of them does, the tall, smiley one. I just love their little friendship with Mr. Miyagi, and I think that's really sweet. And the fact that he takes them bowling. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to talk about the Zen bowling scene?
Bowling. I use that technique all the time.
Do you?
Just kidding. So they really want to go bowling, and the way they like set it up is like they're in the VW Bug. Mr. Miyagi's driving now, and he's like, "You sure you guys want to do this?" And they're like, kind of conferencing, and they're like, yeah, and like you don't know what they're gonna do because they're like, what? And then they just show a bowling alley, and it's like the that sound of the pins, getting knocked over and stuff. And you're like, what? Monk bowl. So the monks are bowling, and I don't think they show them bowling at first, right? They're just, they're next to these like douche hole guys. Larry with his like bowling shirt and his like special bowling ball. And like the little fat one with the glasses, the little fat monk with the glasses, like touches his ball by accident. He's like, hey, he's like, don't touch my ball. That's a very expensive ball. And the monk's like, I don't speak English. Sorry. And the guy's like giving him a hard time. Mr. Miyagi's like, time out. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And it basically he's like, okay, like let's make this interesting. Let's challenge like you to a bowl off, let's say, for money. So you have the team with like the bowling club with the bowling shirts and their special balls, and then you have these monks who's never really bowled in their life, but the monks are practicing Zen bowling, which means they bowl with their eyes closed. No need to see the pins; they just visualize them in their mind.
So they win. And my favorite part of all time of this is when the little old monk, like his eyes are closed. He throws the ball down, throws it straight into the gutter, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I really got to concentrate." And he does like a really hard. He's like really excited about it and like trying to get it in, and then the ball just is like boop, and then like and then hits all the pins anyways and gets them all down. It's so great. It's a great scene. Also very memorable.
Yeah.
What do you think they spent that money on? Stop putting your hand over the mic because I think it's making more noise.
Oh no! I just don't want to cough in the mic.
You can cough.
I don't know.
Outside
Saved it. Bought Julie's college fund. I don't know.
Huh? Because he already bought the dress at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe they bought some monk.
I mean, monks don't need a lot of money.
I know. That's why I'm like, what do they need that for?
Pretty
Maybe it's just gas
austere.
money. Maybe gas money.
Yeah. I mean, they could use it. Go out to eat, whatever. They'd use it.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Is there anything you want to talk about specifically first?
Well, I do like the scene where Mr. Miyagi both buys the prom dress and then teaches her how to dance.
That is so sweet.
It's like twofold. So Mr. Miyagi, again, like all these Boston scenes are totally legit because he rolls up to Newbury Street, and that's like the exact block we used to work on. Rolls up to this little boutique and goes in there, and he's like, I need to buy a dress. And at first doesn't say it's for somebody else other than him. And it's funny that the lady obviously like knew that, but like it wasn't like questioning him a little bit more. So anyway, he's trying to get Julie a dress, and he has to describe like what her size is and her style. And it's just kind of funny and adorable. And the dress he ends up picking is gorgeous. So
it fits her like
good
a glove.
job. Yeah.
So yeah.
And then they do this thing where he teaches her how to dance, basically a waltz by using karate moves, which is also adorable. And even though she really didn't need those skills for the one dance she danced at the prom, still good to have. Sure. So karate waltz. That's what he taught her. So that is just adorable. And I mean, it's just, man, I just love that character so much. He's just so...
He's so sweet.
Sweet.
Really breaks my heart.
It's too much. And I just can't believe he's not around anymore.
I know. I forgot until just now. Now I'm
yes,
upset.
I know.
But that scene where he goes to tell her that Eric's there, and he's like, he sees her all dressed up and pretty, and he starts crying, and then she's crying. I just can't.
Yeah, and
Can't
so
handle it.
I had to
Can't
ask
handle
Sweetie
it.
because I forget sort of the Mr. Miyagi backstory, which you do learn from the first one. So not only is there this war backstory where he was like a Japanese in the internment camp, but then he ended up going to war and like fighting with other U.S. soldiers. I mean, I guess he was a citizen at that time.
Yes.
But anyway, so that's how he meets Julie's grandfather. But then also, so you learn in the first one, because I don't know if you remember in the first one when he gets like wasted on whiskey.
Sure.
And basically confesses to Daniel's son like the story about how, you know, he was away at war and his wife was in the internment camp and she had the baby and then she died from childbirth and then the baby died too. So he was like supposed to be a father, but like never got to be. And he's so great at it. So whether you have Daniel's son, who is like the son, or then Julie comes around and is his daughter, he just like does such a good little job, like really making them feel special, believing in them, being very harsh to them, but also very sweet. You know, he's like the ideal balance. He's like so balanced. I just love him to pieces. So I'm just so glad that he got like another chance at that. I guess more like grandkids by that point, but like still, oh God, adorable.
Yeah.
Like almost, oh my God. Well, I guess it wouldn't work. Okay, never mind. I was gonna be like, there should be a prequel where he has like a kid, but his kid died, so that like we know that.
Okay.
Or what if there was a prequel where it's like, how did he learn karate? So it would have been like pre-World War II Japan. That would be cool.
Sure.
That would write to Steven Spielberg right now.
Yeah.
Dear Steven Spielberg.
Nice. Good one. He'll get it. He'll get that made. He listens to us. Okay, so la 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 la. So okay. So my biggest pet peeve of this movie when I was little was that. So the scene where she's trying to do that crazy move at the monastery, she has to do this in this like beautiful Zen kind of rock garden that's nicely, perfectly raked in the in these specific patterns. And Mr. Miyagi's like, go on the big rock. And Julie just like trots out there and ruins all the sand, and it just upsets me. And then I feel like
that's pretty upsetting.
Doesn't it? It's just, and then when she keeps falling and messing it up, I'm just like, no, not the sand. And I feel like, and the monks have to fix it. I don't know. That used to bother me. Yeah, I don't know why I just wanted to talk about that, but I did. I just did. I felt like I needed to.
No, that was annoying.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about all the 90s time capsule things.
Okay.
Okay, because I have a long list.
Yes.
Mostly around fashion. This was like big 90s fashion.
Okay.
Movie. Okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
So, ready? Overalls.
Overalls.
Short overalls.
Short
too.
overalls. I had those.
Yeah.
That is the exact, what she was wearing in that is the exact pair I was wearing when I spilled the cup of noodles on my thigh and got that giant burn.
Yeah.
Good story. We'll save it for another time. But I had those. Yeah. Totally had those overalls.
Blunt hairstyles. Mm-hmm. So this was like layers, like Friends layers.
Yes. Yes.
And so her hair, it's like she's really nice hair in this, but it's so blunt. It's like such a blunt cut.
Yeah.
Like when you would get your hair cut as a little kid and it would just be so straight in the back. It would just be like a ruler. A Union Bay sweatshirt. Did you see that? Remember that brand? Union Bay? No? I had one.
Kind of. Well, we had champions. That's not.
Yeah, different but similar.
Okay.
Belly shirts, but plaid. So there'd be like full shirts that she like tied up into belly shirts. Mm-hmm. Weird. I don't know. Yeah. Not into that trend.
Weird.
Seems pretty, like we said, inappropriate for school. I mean, granted, like I don't really believe in school dress codes, but I also don't think you should show your belly at school. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut off jean shorts with leggings.
Was that when she was doing karate?
That was her barn outfit.
Oh, okay. But karate. I mean, it was like a workout kind of thing. Yeah. Interesting.
Mom jeans. All the jean styles.
That Ned wears?
Well, all of them do. They're like these high-waisted and then sort of relaxed fit, like on the top area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like belted.
Yeah.
The Cranberries.
Cranberries.
R.I.P.
Sure.
Dolores O'Riordan. Thick white ankle socks.
Yes.
Rolled down in that specific way, which we talked about in another podcast.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Perfect. Yep. Short prom dresses.
Yes.
What is
I was
going to
say, this whole movie is basically our sister Liz Dumas. It reminds me so much of her style because this was her and her friends. Yeah, short prom dresses, which are now back.
And
I would like to point out.
Okay, so this like mid 90s style, so we're talking about 1995, was that time of around the grunge time. So that's when you had a lot of the plaid shirts, you had the overalls, you had the Doc Martens, you had like all that stuff. And it was like the anti-feminine. And she does wear like one skirt in here with like a crocheted vest, but like, and then other than the prom dress, like everyone was very tomboy dressed. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean? Like, or sporty. I don't even know. What's the word?
I guess that's the word. I don't know. It's just a style. It's just a style, man. I don't know. No, but yeah, okay. Totally.
I'm not done yet.
All right.
Bullshit gym proms. I think that's 90s.
Well, I think it's just easier in movies to like have them at the gym because then you're not like, why are they at this weird hotel in Hyannis? like ours was. And I don't know. And I don't know. It
just would not feel special to me if I had my prom. If that's where you had all your other dances, I thought that was like the point of prom. Is that like.
Right. Yeah. But no, I agree.
Okay. And then last but not least, the phrase, Kick butt.
Kick butt. That kicks butt. Or no, are you going to kick someone's butt or something kicks
all
butt?
Of it, all of it.
They used
all of it was
that?
used.
Wow.
It was so much butt kicking.
Wow.
And I feel like that's so dated now. Like you don't say that.
Sure.
And if you do, you're like, wow, you are from the 1990s.
Yeah. Yeah. Another 90s thing, that song, you gotta be bad, you gotta be buff, you gotta be wiser. Desiree. Good one. Good song. Plays over the end credits. Weird.
Yeah.
Strange choice.
Okay, Julie's prom dress, though, yay or nay?
So I always love it.
Describe it for the folks.
So it's like a white cream kind of color, short, kind of a flowy skirt. What is that called? Flouncing.
Yeah. But it's short. It's
Short.
shorter than like a lot of.
And
the
then
other
there's like
dresses.
this crisscross thing, which on the rack it looks, when you're looking at it, it looks like that crisscross is supposed to be in the back, but when she puts it on, it's in the front.
Yeah.
And I know I'm never sure if I like that or not, and I feel like, but I think I do. I was
Looks good on her.
undecided when I was little, and I always wanted the crisscross to be in the back. But
Yeah.
now that I watch it older, I'm like, oh, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because it covers up her giant boobs,
Yeah.
which apparently she needed to do. And she has these weird giant
Yeah,
boobs.
she has giant boobs.
I never noticed that about
Yeah,
Hilary
for-
Swank.
I know, me neither. That's why, and like I haven't noticed
get a
in any of her
reduction?
other movies.
Maybe she got a reduction.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She
Interesting.
knockers.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, I do like it. I like white. That seems like such a color that not a lot of people pick, and obviously because of the like bridal undertones that you would have. But it's like a beautiful cream color. Hate the closed-toed strappy suits though. From again, 1990s.
Always.
Yes, I'm so glad those are basically long gone. I haven't seen them for a while. They might be back.
They could be back.
Who knows? But yeah, I'm sort of like about short prom dresses because we really didn't have them. Any formal dance by the time we came around to high school, short dresses were not in at all. So you would get the gown. You get the floor length gown. And that's what made it like seem formal and like fancy and special. Anything short, I think wouldn't have felt very like dressed up maybe. Even though we had all our dances in the gym as well, which now seems like crazy that people would like
Except
get
for the prom.
dressed up and go to the party in a gym.
See? You were knocking it before.
No,
Hey.
but I know I think that's fine. But a prom, specifically a prom, I think should be somewhere else.
Yes. And now I think that the style is back to short dresses
Yeah,
are
exactly.
in vogue again. So that's back.
Well, now floor length seems too dressy.
Right.
I have
Trying too
not
hard
bought
here.
unless I go to a black tie wedding, which I have yet to go to. That's the only time I think I would buy a floor length dress.
Right.
Or I go to the Oscars or the Grammys.
Also, I'm not trying to spend like $400 on my prom dress. So like,
Where do you even buy a floor length? Well, I guess they have them in like formal shops, but,
everywhere.
yeah.
I saw a bunch at TJ Maxx the other day, and I was
Did you
like,
try 'em on?
ooh, no,
I wanna
but
have a
it
fancy
reminded
dress
me.
party because like you don't get to get dressed up. I've always wanted to do that for the Oscars. Everyone goes to like Salvation Army and gets like a long gown, and then like you wear
Yeah.
them and have the party and
That
get
would
all
be fun.
dressed up.
That'd be super fun.
Let's do it. When is the
Let's
Oscars?
do it soon.
Oh my god,
Probably.
we can wear updos. Ooh, drink champagne.
What if nobody comes again? Or
Oh,
no?
it'll just be us anyway.
Oh, okay, cool. Question for you: which is your favorite monk?
Oh my god, that was gonna be my question. Fave monk? Question mark. Okay, my fave monk is the oh shoot. Okay, I gotta go with fat with glasses.
Oh wow, okay.
It's between him. I mean, God bless the tall one with the driver's license and who likes bugs, but not my favorite. Him or the oldie.
For me,
real
it's
oldie.
the little old guy. I think he's so cute, and he does like the cutest shit. Like, just gets so excited when he knocks all the pins down, and when she hands him the praying mantis. He's just so fucking adorable. I can't stand it. Love him.
Yeah, that's definitely like one of the greatest parts of this movie, and
Yes.
the parts I always remember, like
Yes.
for sure. Yeah. Again, it's a great women empowerment movie, but for some reason I wish there was more karate. I don't think there's enough karate in it. Just doesn't seem like, and I think they were trying to go in a different direction, which is totally cool.
I just
down
think,
with.
I just think I think you're forgetting how little karate there is in the first one too. Because we made that point in that podcast too. We were like, all of a sudden, there's just that scene of Mr. Miyagi being like, now show me, wax on, wax off. And then he just knows the stuff, and then he walks into the thing.
The thing different with Daniel-san is that he knew nothing, like literally zero. And they're basing it, and why they don't do it in this one is because Jolly Julie had a background in karate because she knew a little bit. So he didn't have to teach her like a lot of the basic stuff. And they actually do like kind of a joke because he starts to teach her the wax on shit. And she's like, hell no, like fuck it.
She does more karate in this than the first one. Like I feel like they show her doing it more. Like her montage. Her end fight scene is just like more badass.
But in the first one, so they make a point of doing like all the dumb chores that he does turn into karate moves. Julie just like knows the moves, so it's just like he is just like doing, the punching into the gloves or like a little bit of the sparring. But he like tells her like, okay, do this frontward kick with your hip turned and whatever, and she can basically do it. So that means to me that her like skills are like way up there, that she was just kind of like out of practice. So I understand that they like don't have to do it as much. But yeah, it's interesting because in the first one they really have like the last thing not only being confronting the bullies, but it's also under the like umbrella of a competition. So that's like a whole different thing, right. And they don't do that here.
Which is like bullshit anyways, because all you have to do in that competition is like hit somebody one time.
Those are karate competitions, though.
I know, but
okay,
that's why this one is. But I think that's why this one's better, because it's like actual fighting.
No. Well, okay, so that's the other thing about this one, that it's not, those guys in the Alpha League or whatever weren't doing karate. They were just, like, the guy was a colonel, so he was, like, in the army, so they must have just been, like, beating up shit.
Teaching them to fight.
Yeah, just regular, like, fight stuff. Right. So they didn't even have any moves. So when you, like, Ned is against her, he's not actually, like, pulling out any moves because he doesn't know any. Sure. All he does is use his fists.
That's true.
So, like, obviously she has an advantage there. So I just think that's interesting that they put it up against, again, it's, like, not really... I mean, I guess it could be about like how karate could be used in like regular circumstances, but yeah, I just find it interesting. I'm not saying like the first one will always be my favorite, like, but this one is an appreciation that I do have for it.
Right. And I mean, my point is just that I just think that it's a good kind of feminist-ish movie in that it puts her against a guy at the end. I just found that to be very enlightening and not something you'd see a lot, especially in the 90s. The only like kind of sexist thing I am not crazy about is that in the beginning, Mr. Miyagi tries to pull the wax on, wax off thing with Julie, and she's like, I don't want to wash a car. And he's like, girls are harder. Like, boys, you can just make them do chores, but girls just want to go to the mall. So now I have to think of a different way to like pretend to like trick her into learning karate. And the way he does that is by getting her a babysitting gig.
Yeah,
because only girls babysit. I don't know. So that was the only thing that's kind of like.
And I didn't like that scene either when she like they show her. I guess it's supposed to show again like how she's a girl and not a boy. Is that she looks at her reflection in the car and is like, oh my God, I just noticed that my teeth don't match my face. And neither does my nose. And so it's supposed to show that she has this like vanity, I guess.
And that she wants to go to the mall. Where you're like, does she? She doesn't seem like the kind of person that would
and it doesn't seem like she cared about what she looked like. And even that part when he's like, all her makeup falls over on the ground in the bathroom or in the sink and he doesn't pick it up. And she's like, why is my makeup all over the place? And he's like, too much makeup. But, like, was she wearing any makeup? It didn't look like she had any on. It'd be one thing if she had, like, really red lips
he meant
stuff.
Too much makeup in the bathroom. Like, there was just too many products.
I don't know. That whole scene felt, like, really weird. I think it was just supposed to say, again, like you said, just trying to show, like, how he was going to have to approach training her differently.
Yeah. And they do, yeah.
So, it was just, again, like, a little heavy-handed-y, like, kind of stuff that you're like, okay.
Sure. But ultimately... whatevs. I love it. It's fine. Ned gets his butt kicked. Game over.
What do you think happened to Julie and Eric?
Do they make it, you mean? Let's see. So Eric's main dream in life is to be in the Air Force. And Julie's goal, we're still unclear about.
I think she's going to do something with animals.
You're right. Probably. So I mean, I think that they could stay together. I can see her being fine with like a long distance. He's in the Air Force thing because I think she needs her space, and I think she won't do well in a relationship that's very close knit and somebody like up her ass all the time. So I think they could make it.
All right.
Yeah. Army
I hope
wife.
so.
Yeah.
I mean, he was total sweetie club. He's adorable. He's like
so
working
sweet.
a job because his dad left, and they need more money for the house. He has brothers and sisters. I mean, he's adorable. Such a good egg.
So he's the security guard at like the MBTA, which is our transit system here in Boston, and he does security for the place where they keep all the trains. And he, where is this like? He has this little like satchel bag thing. What is that? No one will tell me. Looks like a canteen. I don't know. It's
keys in there? Maybe some
it's
keys?
Weird. Why can't he put them in his pocket?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Anyways,
Google it.
That was my one question. Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's all my notes. Fave Monk, bullshit gym party, bungee jump at prom, Doc's garbage can fire.
Classic. Oh, I got something. So Sweet Confusion. I always thought that, so it's like Daniel San and then Julie San. But in this, I thought it was Julie Sara for like the longest time. Maybe until this year or tonight when I looked it up just to be sure. Because I was like, well, is the female version of San like Sarah? And then, I don't know. It confused the heck out of me. But it's not. It's
Glad
not.
you cleared that up.
Me too.
31 years later.
Yeah. Totes. And I also love how Hilary Swank has like a constant eternal furrowed brow in this in the beginning when she's being her like angsty self. This is what I mean where I'm like, it's a little heavy handed with the angst.
In the beginning. Yeah, she's
She's
super
always
annoying
like-
in the beginning.
She's always like, why are you ruining my life? I'm just going to walk around like this all the time. My brow furrowed.
She's so annoying in the beginning, for sure. And she's such a little brat, and she's acting like she's 6 years old. And even like the way she's missing her parents, like I just feel like that's how you would think when you were like 6 years old and your parents die. Everybody dies, like abandonment syndrome, this and that. But it's like, okay, like girl, you're 17 years old. Like, you know that's not
Well,
how the
like your
world
grandpa
works.
died because he's old.
Yeah.
Thank God your grandmother looks to be in her late 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
She's a spring chicken.
Oh,
She'll
yeah.
be around for a
and
while.
like, granted, that's never happened to me, but like, come on, like your grandmother has taken you in. You have nobody else. Let's be nice.
Right. It's not like, well, but what about Eric? His dad is alive,
Right.
but doesn't want to see him. I mean, is that worse? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
she's a spoiled brat in the beginning, but then
perspective.
You know,
Yeah.
karate teaches her everything she needs to know.
Saves the day once again.
Karate.
Yeah. So sweet little flick. Good anti-Super Bowl movie. And yeah, good times. Good times, guys. Good times. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Whoa, I never say that part.
Wow.
Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you watched the Super Bowl, or if you didn't, that's awesome too, because everyone should do what they want to do. But, you know, we'll be back, I think, this week with a special movie dedicated to the Olympics. What? Olympics, guys, start on Friday. Get excited.
Shit. Oh my God, so excited.
Yeah, so
can't
guess what that is. We won't tell you.
Oh,
Shh, secret.
I was gonna guess, but okay, I won't. I
You
know,
know
what it is.
it is.
I know.
Guess.
I forgot, and then I remembered. God. Okay. Anyway, so thanks, guys, for listening. You can find us on Twitter at the Sweetie Club, or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us. Thanks as always for listening. Bye.